Python Programming Review. You review basic Python programming skills including data types, variables lists, dictionaries, user input, if statements, for and while loops, and file access. This lab is not meant as a substitute for prior programming experience and does not necessarily cover all the Python skills you will need for this course. Required resources: one PC with operating system of your choice, VirtualBox and DevNet Associate Virtual Machine. Launch the DevNet Associate Virtual Machine. VirtualBox. This is the virtual machine. Right click, start, normal start. Starting Python and Visual Studio Code. You will review starting Python's interactive interpreter and using Visual Studio Code to write and run a Hello World script. Start Python. To check the Python version running in the virtual machine, open a terminal window and enter command python 3-b. Okay, open terminal, double click. Python 3-b. Case sensitive. The version is Python 3.8.2. From January 1st, 2020, Python 2 is not longer supported. Python 2 is not supported in this lab or this course. At the time this lab was written, Python 3.8.2 was the latest version. Although you can update your Python install with the sudo apt-get install python 3 command. This lab and the rest of the labs in this course are based on Python 3.8.2. Start Python, type Python 3. The three angle brackets indicate that you are in Python's interactive interpreter. Python 3. Enter. Okay, the three angle brackets. Okay, use the interpreter as a calculator. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and exponents. This is for math, but this is the syntax for Python. Okay, and run some examples. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and exponents. Okay, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponent. Recall that Python uses the standard order of operations commonly known as PEMDAS. Mathematical expressions are evaluated in the following order: parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtractions. Try entering an expression with a complex order of operations in the interactive interpreter. For example, okay, very good. First the parentheses, then the exponents, division, addition, subtractions, and finally this division. This is the result. Use the interactive interpreter to print a string. A string is a sequence of characters such as letters, numbers, symbols, or punctuation marks. The interactive interpreter will directly output text that you enter as a string as long as you enclose the string in either single quotes or double quotes. Okay. Type hello world, double quotes, and single quotes. Hello world. Very good. And single quotes. The same result. The print command can be also used to exit the interactive interpreter. Enter quit parentheses. You can use print. Okay, very good. And you can use quit parentheses to exit. Very nice. This is the Linux prompt. Open Visual Studio Code and create a script for Hello World. There are many development environments available for programmers to manage their coding projects. In this course, the labs will use the virtual machines installation of Microsoft Visual Studio Code (VS Code). Open Visual Studio Code. If this is your first time, you will most likely be presented with a welcome window. Okay, this is Visual Studio Code. Open. Okay. Feel free to explore the Visual Studio Code menus and options on your own time. For now, click File, New File to open a new file. File, New File. And select text file. Okay, very good. In your new file, type the print command from the previous step. Okay, use print hello world. Save the script as hello world.py in the lab's DevNet source Python folder. Be sure you add the extension of py for Python file. File save as labs DevNet source Python, and the name will be hello-world.py. And down here, save. Okay, go to terminal and new terminal. Now that you have a command line open inside VS Code, you can manually launch Python and quickly run your script with the following command: Python3 and the name of the file. Okay, but first go to the directory. You are on home directory, that is home DevNet associate. You need to enter to labs DevNet source and Python. Change directory labs DevNet dash source and Python. Enter. Once you are on this directory, Python3 and the name Python3 and the name of the file, that is hello-world hello-world.py. Enter. Now you can see the result, the output. You can also open a terminal window outside of VS Code and enter the same command, making sure to provide path information. Okay, or you can open the terminal, execute Python3 and the directory labs tab and DevNet complete with tab and Python tab, and the name of the file hello-world.py. Enter. This is the result. Very nice. Review data types and variables. You will use the interactive interpreter to review data types, create variables, concatenate the strings, and cast between data types. Use interactive interpreter to review basic data types. In programming, data types are a classification which tells the interpreter how the programmer intends to use the data. For example, the interpreter needs to know if the data the programmer entered is a number or a string. Also, there are several different data types. We will focus only on the following: integer, float, string, boolean. Integer used to specify whole numbers, no decimals such as 1, 2, 3, and so on. If an integer is entered with a decimal, the interpreter ignores the decimal. For example, 3.75 is interpreted as only 3. Float used to specify numbers that need a decimal value, such as 3.14159. String any sequence of characters, such as letter, numbers, symbols, or punctuation marks. Boolean any data type that has a value of either true or false. Use type command to determine the basic data types: integer, float, string, boolean. Okay, on terminal, run the interpreter Final3, use type, for example, an integer 5 is integer, or 5.67 is float, or high is a string, or true is boolean. Review different boolean operators: greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, for example, one is okay, copy this. One is less than 2, enter. This is true. 3 is okay. 3 is greater than 5. This is false. Or 1 is less or equal than 2. True. Or 3 is greater or equal than 3. Enter. True. And 3 is not equal to 3. Okay, invalid syntax. Okay, the exclamation mark before the equal, and 3 is not equal than 3, false, and 5 is equal than 5, this is true. Use the interpreter to create and use variable. The Boolean operator for determining whether two values are equal is the double equal sign. A single equal sign is used to assign a value to a variable. The variable can then be used in other commands to recall value. Create and use following variable in the interactive interpreter. Okay. Okay, x is the x is 3, or 3 is assigned to x, enter. So x and 5 is equal to 15, or Cisco and x, enter, is Cisco and 3. Use the interpreter to concatenate multiple string variables. Concatenation is the process of combining multiple strings into one string. The concatenation of foot and ball is football. Enter the following four variables and then concatenate them together in a print statement with the plus sign. Notice that the space variable was defined for use as white space between the words. Okay, create the first variable, string1 will be Cisco. Enter string number 2, this variable would be networking. The variable 3 will have academy, and space variable will have this, the space, enter, and now use print to concatenate string 1, string 2, string 3, but in middle the space, okay, enter. Okay, ptnr is not defined. Okay, it's not print, use print. Okay, very good. This is the result, Cisco space networking space academy. Print the variables without using the variable to create the space. Separate the variables with comma. Okay, separate with comma. Enter the same result. Review casting and printing different data types. Converting between data types is called type casting. Type casting often needs to be done in order to work with the different data types. For example, concatenation does not work when joining different data types. Okay, for example, x is 3 and print the value of x is this. Okay, try this. X is 3 and print the value of x is plus x. Okay, enter. Error can only concatenate a string, not integer. So this is the string and this is integer. Different data types. Use the string function to convert the integer data type to a string data type. So repeat the command and use string for x. Enter. Very nice. The value of x is 3. Okay, and review the type. Type of x, okay, is integer. And notice that the data type for the variable x is still an integer. To convert the data type, reassign the variable to a new data type. Okay. convert X to string and assign to X. Then review the type. Okay, and enter and type of X now is a string. You may want to display a float to a specific number of decimal places instead of the full number. To do this, you can use the fstrings and this format function. Okay, for example, a number is 22 divided by 7. Okay, and use format and the value of num is num. Okay, don't forget format and the num. Enter. Now you can see this is the value. (22) divided by 7 is this. Okay, and now P. Okay, this is the value of num, the value of variable num, and this is, but apply the format function with two decimals. Enter, and you can use the value of, for example, P is P. Okay, don't forget the format. The value of P is this. Okay, is only with two decimals. Review lists and dictionaries. You will review the methods of creating and manipulating lists and dictionaries. Create and manipulate a list. In programming, a list variable is used to store multiple pieces of ordered information. Lists are also called arrays in some programming environments. Create lists using brackets and enclosing each time in the list with quotes. Separate the items with a comma. Use type command to verify the data type. Use len command to return the number of items in a list. Call the list variable name to display its content. The following example shows how to create a list variable called hostnames. Okay, hostnames. Okay, hostnames is a variable. It will have elements R1, comma, R2, comma, switch 1, comma, switch 2. Okay, don't forget R3, comma. Okay, enter. Very good. And review the type of hostnames variable hostnames. Enter. The type is a list, and the length, use length 5 elements 5. Finally, hostnames. You can see the contents. An item in a list can be referenced and manipulated using its index. The first item in a list is indexed as 0. The second is indexed as 1, and so on. The last item can be referenced with index -1. Replace an item by assigning a new value to the index. Use the del command to remove an item from a list. Okay, the number 0 will be the first element, -1 the last. You can replace the element 0 with, you can replace the first element with a new value and verify. Okay, for example, host names 0 is the first, R1, very good. -1 is the last, the S2, very good. And you can replace the number 0 with a different value, for example, RTR1, and verify host names. Now R1 is replaced by RTR1. And finally, remove an element. Okay. Remove the fourth element, delete the fourth element, enter, and review host names. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. S1 is removed, you can see. Create and manipulate a dictionary. Dictionaries are unordered list of objects. Each object contains a key-value pair. Create a dictionary using braces. Each dictionary entry includes a key and value. Separate a key and its value with a colon. Use quotes for keys and values that are strings. Create the following dictionary called IP address with 3 key value pairs to specify the IP address values for 3 routers. Okay, create a dictionary IP address. Use the braces, for example, R1 column and the IP 10.1.1.1, comma, another value R2 with 10.2.2.1, comma, R3 with 10.3.3.1. Enter. Very nice. And verify the type. Okay, type of IP address variable is a dictionary. Unlike lists, objectives inside a dictionary cannot be referenced by their sequence number. Instead, you reference a dictionary object using its key. The key is enclosed with brackets. Keys that are strings can be referenced using single or double quotes. Use a key in the dictionary statement to verify if a key exists in the dictionary. Add key value pair by setting the new key equal to a value. You can verify the contents of the dictionary. Okay, very good. And for example, only show the contents of R1 key, and the content is this, the IP. And also you can add a new value s1. Okay, s1 is the key, and the pair is, for example, this. Okay, this will be a new element, a new key with this IP. Okay, and review the dictionary. And this is the new element. Values in a key value pair can be any other data type, including lists and dictionaries. For example, if R3 has more than one IP address, how would you represent that inside the IP address dictionary? Create a list for your value of R3 key. For R3, you can use a list. Okay, for example, for R3, you can define a list with brackets and separated by comma 10.331, 10.332, and 10.333. Enter and review the contents. Now, this is R1, R2, R3 is a list, and S1. Review the input function. You will review how to use the input function to store and display user-supplied data. Create a variable to store user input and then display the value. Most programs require some type of input, either from a database, another computer, mouse clicks, or keyboard input. For keyboard input, use the input function, which includes an optional parameter to provide a prompt string. If the input function is called, the program will stop until the user provides input and hits the enter key. Assign the input function to a variable that asks the user for input and then print the value of the user's input. Okay, create a variable first name and input function. And the question, what is your first name? And finally, print hello and the first name. Okay, variable first name input. What is your first name? Okay, enter. What is your first name? For example, this, enter. Now, Christian is assigned to first name variable and print. Just hello plus um, plus the variable first name plus this okay, enter. And now you can see hello Christian. Create a script to collect personal information. Create and run a script to collect personal information. Open a blank script file and save it as personal info in the lab's DevNet source Python folder. Create a script that asks for 4 pieces of information such as first name, last name, location, and age. Add a print statement that combines all the information in one sentence. Your script should run without any errors. Is shown in the following output. Okay, run the script. Okay, ask for your first name, last name, location, age, and finally print hi, the first name, last name, your location is, and you are the age and years old. Okay, and go to VS Code, new file, text file. Okay, and create a variable first name, and we'll the input function. What is your first name? Copy this. This will be last name. What is your last name? Another function will be log. What is your location? And finally the age. What is your age? And finally print. Okay, and print hi and first name, comma, last name. Okay, and your location is log variable. Okay, and you are age variable, years old. Save as personal info. File, save as personal-info.py. Don't forget on labs DevNet source Python. In this folder, labs DevNet source Python. Okay, save. Okay, on terminal you can execute. Quit and enter. You can execute Python 3 and labs DevNet source Python and personal info file. Personal info. Enter. What is your first name? Christian. Last name. Location. Age. Hi, Christian Romero. Your location is Peru and you are 36 years old. So you can add a space here. Okay. Okay. So much better. Let's say review if, for, and while functions. You review how to create if statements as well as for and while loops. Create an if-else function. In programming, conditional statements check if something is true and then carry out instructions based on the evaluation. If the evaluation is false, different instructions are carried out. Open a blank script and save it as if-vlan. Okay, so you can copy this all this to a notepad, a lot of codes. Okay, copy all this to a notepad. Copy. Notepad, then paste. Okay, very good. Okay, this is the notepad with the codes and save. Okay, file 3 dash 123, for example. It's a txt file. Save. So you can share this file. So you can share this file on Google Drive. Create this file on Google Drive. And on the virtual machine, open a Chromium web browser. And access to Google Drive, drive.google.com. Okay, this is the file, and download. Okay, ready. Go to home directory, downloads, open this. Okay, for example, this is the code. Is this? Copy, open new file on Visual Studio Code, text file, paste. Okay, and save as vlan dash if dash vlan if dash vlan. Okay, on labs DevNet source file folder and save. In Python, use 4 spaces to indent. If you save your file in VS Code, this 4 space indentation will be automatic. When beginning the else statement, make sure to backspace to the left margin. Okay, now you can see this is the indentation. Okay, the indentation. Save the script and run it. Your output should look like the following example. The native belang and the data belang are different. Okay, on terminal run, if belang.py enter, the native belang and the data belang are different. Okay, because native belang is 1 and data belang is 100. If they are equal, we'll show they are the same, else they are different. Modify the variable so native belang and data belang have the same value. Okay, for example, 1 for native, 1 for data. Save and run the same script again. Now the message is different. They are the same. Create an if else condition. What if we have more than 2 conditional statements to consider? In this case, we can use elif statements in the middle of the if-else function. An elif statement is evaluated if the if statement is false and before the else statement. You can have as many elif statements as you would like. The first one matched will be executed and none of the remaining elif statements will be checked, nor will the else statement. The script in the following example asks the user to input the number of an IPv4 access list and then checks whether that number is a standard IPv4 access list, extended IPv4 access list, or native standard or extended IPv4 access list. Create this script for your files. Open a blank script and save it as if-acl. Okay, and okay, copy this. On file, new file, text file, edit, paste. Okay, and what is the number? The user will enter the number and the value is assigned to ACL number variable. If the number is greater or equal than 1 and less or equal than 99 is standard. If is greater or equal than 100 and less or equal than 199 is extended, and else this is not a standard or extended IP for access list. Okay, save as if ACL, save as if ACL. Okay, on the same directory, save and run. If ACL, enter IP for number, for example 5, enter standard access list. Run again, for example 102, extended, and run again 1000, not standard, not extended. Okay, this is the test. And create for loop. The FIDON4 function is used to loop or iterate through the elements in a list or perform an operation on a series of values. Enter the following in the interactive interpreter to see how a for loop works. The variable name item is arbitrary and can be anything the programmer chooses. Often, programmers will shorten this to just the letter I. Be sure you enter 4 spaces to indent the print function and press Enter key twice to exit the for loop. Okay, and run the interpreter. Okay, and run FIDON3 interpreter. Okay, and copy these devices R1, R2, R3, S1, and S2. Copy, paste. Okay, create the list, enter, and then the for loop, copy, paste, enter. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces and print item, enter. Another enter to exit. And now you can see the result. This is the list for item in devices list, print item. And you will print each item. What if you only want to list the items that begin with the letter R? An if statement can be embedded in a for loop to achieve this. Okay, and you can use this for item in devices, the indentation, and the if, finally print. Okay, for item in devices, copy, paste, enter. the if statement 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 spaces, and paste, enter, and print item 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, enter, another enter. Now you can see only the devices with R. For item in devices, this list, if R in item, print, else not print, only print the devices with R. You can also use a combination of the for loop and if statement to create a new list. Enter the following example to see how to use the append method to create a new list called switches. Create the list, an empty list, and for item in devices, the devices. If S in item, on switches list, append or add the item. Okay, and create the list. Create the list. Enter is created. Now the for statement. Okay, the for loop. Enter the if 1, 2, 3, 4, and paste. Enter. And append on the switches list 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter, enter. Very good. And verify the contents of the switches list. No, only the switches. Okay, while loop. Instead of running a block of code once, as in an if statement, you can use a while loop. A while loop keeps executing a code block as long as a Boolean expression remains true. This can cause a program to run endlessly if you do not make sure your script includes a condition for the while loop to stop. While loops will not stop until the Boolean expression evaluates as false. Open a blank script and save it as while loop. Use while loop to create the following program that counts from a programmed value up to a user-supplied number. The program does the following. Ask the user for a number. Cast inputted string value to an integer. Using the function int, sets a variable to start the count. While the variable is less or equal than x, prints the value of y and increment by 1. Okay, this script. Okay, this script. Refile a new file, text file, paste. Okay, and save as while dash loop. Save. Okay. Enter a number. Convert the string to integer. Y will be 1. While y is less or equal than x, print y and increment on each iteration. Okay, and now run the program. Quit. Enter. While loop.py. Enter. Enter a number to count to, for example, 10. Enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very nice. 4. Very good. Instead of using while y less or equal than x, we can modify the while loop to use a boolean check and break to stop the loop when the check evaluates as false. Modify the while loop script is shown in the following. Okay, and this code. Okay, this code. And replace this. Okay, enter the number, convert to integer, y is 1, while true, print y, increment, but if y is greater than x, break to stop. Okay, and save. And run the same file, the same script. For example, 10. I'm sorry, enter. For example, 10. Very good. Enter 4. Okay, the same result. Use while loop to check for a user quit command. What if we want the program to run as many times as the user wants until the user quits the program? To do this, we can embed the program in a while loop that checks if the user enters a quit command, such as Q or quit. Modify the while loop script. Add another while loop to the beginning of the script, which will check for a quit command. Add an if function to the while loop to check the Q or quit. Okay, and use this code. Okay, use this code. Okay, replace. Okay, and save. While true, enter the number. If X is Q, break or quit. If X is quit, also break or quit. But if X is different, convert to integer and run the count. Okay, run the same script. Number, for example, 5, 4, 9, okay, 7. You don't need to run the script again. 5. And use Q to quit. Very nice. Review methods for file access. You review methods for accessing, reading, and manipulating a file. Create a program that reads an external file. In addition to user input, you can access a database, another computer program, or a file to provide input your program. The open function can be used to access a file using the following syntax. Open, the name, and the mode. The name parameter is the name of the file to be opened. If the file is in a different directory than your script, you will also need to provide path information. For our purposes, we are only interested in the three mode parameters: R for read, W write over the file, replacing the content of the file, and A append to the file. Open a blank script and save it as file access. Okay, and file, new file, text file, and save as. File-access.py. Okay, save on the same directory and save. Okay, very good. Create the following program to read and print the content of devices.txt, which is in the same directory as your program. After printing the contents of the file, use the close function to remove it from the computer's memory. Okay, use this script. Okay, this script. Copy, paste, open the file, and run the for loop to print the items and close. Okay, save, file access. File-access.py, enter. Okay, now switch file or directory devices.txt. Okay, and go to home directory and labs, DevNet source, Python. This is the devices.txt. These are the contents. Okay, so you need to enter first to the directory and run the script. Okay, because devices does not exist on home directory, so you need to enter first to the directory. Okay, first cd for change directory labs DevNet source file, enter, and then run the script Python3 and run the script. And devices.txt exist in this folder or directory, and run the script file access, and now you can see the result. Open the file and show the contents. Remove the blank lines from the output. Add this item strip. Item strip. Okay, before the print. Okay, save and run again. File access. Very good. Copy the content of a file into a list variable. Most of the time, when programmers access an external resource, such as a database or file, they are wanting to copy that content into a local variable that can then be referenced and manipulated without impacting the original resource. The devices.txt file is a list of Cisco devices that can easily be copied into a Python list using the following steps. Create an empty list. Is this? Use append parameter to copy the file content to the new list. Use append and print the list to verify. Okay, on the same file, okay, is this? On the same file, create the list, empty, open the file, append the contents to the list, close and print. Save this and run. Run the same script. Now you can see this is a list separated by comma. This is the list. Challenge: create a script to allow the user to add devices. What if you want to add more devices to the devices.txt file? You can create a program to open the file in append mode and then ask the user to provide the name of the new devices. Complete the following steps to create a script. Open a new file and save it as file access input. Okay, VS Code, file, new file. Okay, text file and save as file dash access dash input dot py. Okay, save. Very nice. For the open function, use the mode A, which will allow you to append an item to the device's txt file. Okay, and you can create a variable called file and open the file. The file is devices.txt with option A to append inside a while true loop, embed an input function command that asks the user for the new device. Okay, while true column, okay, is while true column. The indentation, the variable will be new item, and this is an input. Will ask for the device. And enter the new device name. Set the value of user's input to a variable new item. Okay, should be new item. Use if statement that breaks the loop if the user types exit and prints the statement all done. Okay, enter if new item is equal to exit, then print all done. Enter. Use the command file write new item plus and the line break to add new user provided device. Okay, but don't forget to break if the user enter exit all done, then stop all, break and enter. And here in this alignment, add file that write new item plus the line break. Close the file. File that close. Okay, very good. Save. And the result should be similar. Add a new device, router 1941, another device. Okay, and save and run file access dash input. Enter and device Cisco router 2911 Cisco router 1841, and if you use exit, all done. So you can review the file, go to home directory, labs, DevNet source, Python, open devices.txt file. Now you can see the new devices. Okay, thank you.